Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty!
Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you very much.
Garcia versus Ryder. You mentioned that you're hoping to make Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia this week. Do you have any updates on that?
No, I'm seeing Bill today.
Okay.
I think that's the fight for everybody.
Yeah,
it's definitely the fight for the son. It's definitely the fight for Devin. Is it the right fight for Ryan? We'll find out. But, Ryan wants massive fights. Ryan wants big paydays. When you look at the landscape, who else are they going to fight? And they could fight Javon, but Ryan's obviously fought him. Devin, Bill's roughing up everybody the wrong way. So I just don't think those fights are going to get made right now. I think there's an opportunity to sit down and make that fight very quickly. But Ryan will have his opinion of his value in the fight and his value of probably a split in the fight that Devin Haney probably won't agree to. It's just the case if they can come to an arrangement where everyone. But I will be urging Devin to take that fight, not at any price, but definitely. What a great fight for him.
What did you think of how that all unfolded? He was going to fight Romero, or he wanted to, and then Romero winds up fighting Cruz, and just how that all played out for Ryan.
Ryan messaged me, a month ago and said, I want to fight Devin Haney. I just want you to know I'm taking that fight. And I was over the moon. And then obviously he's with Floyd and these kind of people that said, listen, Devin Haney's a fucking tough fight. You should fight Rowley. That's definitely the right thing to do, by the way, unless you really believe in yourself and you're chasing legacy against the best. And I was disappointed when that happened. Obviously, then they couldn't do the deal with Rowley. So he's back. Who's he going to fight? We've got 140 pounders for him to fight. We've got Regis, we've got Paro, we've got these guys. Golden Boy, we've got Ramirez, Barboza. But Ryan doesn't want those kind of guys. He wants a big pay-per-view. So if you want a big pay-per-view, you need to fight a big name, and that's Devin Haney. Then he came back to me and said, look, let's start again. So now these guys are talking. I'm catching up with Bill. Obviously, from a DAZN perspective, we're all on board. We want it to happen. Just trying to go on.
Eddie, what do you make of the comments then? Obviously, if Ryan's hitting you up to make the fight happen, why is his own promoter saying that you have no business or dealings?
I'm not negotiating with Ryan. We're just talking as mates.
Right.
And Oscar likes putting little sly digs out there and stuff like that. We don't have to be involved in the fight. We have an option with Devin Haney, which we'd love to exercise, and we want to work with him. He's, I think, pound for pound, one of the top fighters in the world, and we've done a great job with him. I want to be involved in that fight, and I want to see him win. But if not, listen. If it's on DAZN, I don't have to be up there with Oscar. For him, it might be more of an ego thing. I'm happy to sit in the back. I don't care. I want that fight to happen for the platform. Because you've got all these big fights on DAZN. They've just announced Fury Usyk worldwide on DAZN as well. If we can get Haney, Garcia, if we can make some big fights, it's great for us. So, Oscar talks about, I want to work with all promoters. And then, I'm not so sure. But I don't.
Ladies and gentlemen, members of the jury, members of the Roll the Tape film crew, welcome to another edition of Roll the Tape podcast with Manager Marty. I am your host, Manager Marty, and I love to talk about the sport and the business of boxing. I salute and welcome each and every last one of you who are acknowledging me in the chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you who are viewing live and living color right now. I am excited. So excited, man. I'm just excited to be here today and just talk about boxing again. This is what we do day in and day out. If you're watching the replay of this live, I welcome you. Yes, I do. Thank you for your viewership. You can also engage in the comment section below, and I definitely will make sure that, the comments don't go unnoticed. Jeremy Austin, salute to you. Member of the channel, supervisor of the Roll the Tape film crew. I see you in the chat. Now, before I start, I wanted to make sure that I acknowledge that Fight Hub TV published this interview with Eddie Hearn a few hours ago, and you heard everything that Eddie Hearn just said in this interview. And we want to talk about it today. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. I'm talking about the fight between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. It's possible. It's a possibility that these two fighters may compete in the ring on the zone. Very, very highly possible. But before we even get into all of that, I want to welcome all of you who are here that just come over here just to spy, come over here to steal, to freeload. You know I serve fresh bread every day. Come over here to misuse the information and then run back over somewhere else and spread it. I want to let you know if you here, if you are a detractor of mine, if you are a hater of mine, I want to let you know that I'm glad you're here today. I'm not lying to you. I'm glad you're here today. Every chance I get, I want to let you know that you motivate me to continue to do what I'm doing because see, once the hating stop, then I know I'm doing something wrong. Okay? So come on over, get your plate and your fork ready. Yeah. I encourage you to freeload because you're going to eat some fresh bread today and it's all good. Yeah. Y'all know I'm going to provide y'all with some education and some entertainment today. And I'm so excited that all of the Roller Tape Film crew members are here. One sec. And we're going to have a great show. I don't know, what was that? Was that Siri? I think that was. I got my iPad. That's what I was playing that excerpt of the interview from um, Eddie Hearn today. Yeah, man. So we're going to talk about this fight. We're going to talk about some more stuff. Conor Benn is fighting. I believe he's fighting this weekend. We haven't seen much of him since he tested positive for the female for or the women's fertility drug clomiphene. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. The British Control Board, the British Boxing Control Board, they did lift his suspension, but they appealed the process. They appealed their own decision. So it's technically not all the way over. Now, Conor Benn, he expressed his innocence throughout the times he's been suspended all of this time. Of course, he was supposed to fight Nigel. We was waiting for that fight. You know, we waiting for Conor and Nigel to get it on. But of course, that fight was canceled. But the thing is, for whatever it is worth, Dobson and Conor Benn will fight this weekend, and they both underwent VADA testing for whatever that is worth. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to get right into it. Trying to decide whether I should do the Town Watch check-in formally or should I just go on with the show. I see you, Veronica. Brooklyn, New York in the building. If I see anybody post their location, I'm just going to shout it out. Because I want us to get involved with this dialogue of Ryan Garcia possibly fighting Devin Haney. That's what I want to talk about. That's a good fight. Good fight. But before we go there, you know, the thing is that Ryan Garcia did an interview. He conducted an interview. I believe that was with, was that Fight Hype? I think it was FightHype.com. He conducted an interview, I think it was sometime yesterday. And Ryan Garcia was basically stating how when he was spending time with Floyd Mayweather, there was a vested interest that Floyd Mayweather had. And that interest was for Floyd Mayweather to talk to Ryan Garcia, basically asking him what his opinion was of fighting Rolly Romero for one of the 140-pound titles that Romero has. And It seemed to me, according to what y'all just heard Eddie Hearn say, that Ryan Garcia was interested in that fight, where he said that meaning Ryan Garcia, said that Floyd is very influential, and he said that Floyd Mayweather basically was telling him, "Look, Devin Haney is a tough fight for you, or rather, a tougher fight for you, and you can fight for a world title against Rolly, and if you beat Rolly, you'll have more leverage. You'll have more leverage to go over to the zone with Eddie Hearn and the Haneys, and basically come with the leverage of having the belt, and then you'll be able to unify." You'll be able to unify with Devin Haney, since Rolly might be an easier fight for you. And you have a greater chance to win against Rolly, get that belt, and then boom. So it sounded like Floyd was just giving him some pointers on the business side of the sport. And of course, they had a vested interest, because we know that Al Heyman, Leonard Ellaby, Mayweather Promotions, they promote Rolly. Okay? So it was good business on Floyd's end. But when the negotiations began between De La Hoya, who represents King Ryan Garcia, and Rolly Romero also did an interview that was published yesterday, and he stated that they basically tried to lowball, in a sense. In other words, is Rolly Romero was able to gain more leverage and get more guarantee as far as how much he'll get paid fighting Pitbull Cruz than he would fighting Ryan Garcia, based on the offer that De La Hoya made. So he stuck with the game plan of just fighting Pitbull Cruz, and obviously you see how fast that fight materialized, because of course, Al Heyman obviously manages Pitbull Cruz. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he manages Isak Pitbull Cruz. And the thing about it is, now Rolly is fighting Pitbull. And so now Ryan Garcia, he says, well, look, since the negotiations, didn't materialize a fight, it didn't cultivate into a fight between me and Rolly, then I'm going to go back to see what's up with Devin Haney. And that's exactly where we are now. You also heard Eddie Hearn say that he's going to be meeting up with Bill Haney. And they're going to sit down and discuss the particulars, because there's a one option fight. You see that? See, I tried to tell y'all that before, and people kept telling me that I'm hating, I don't know the business of boxing. And I tried to explain to y'all, there was some kind of obligation, okay, that Devin Haney and Eddie Hearn have to one another. Of course, we didn't know the particulars of it, but we do now. Why do I say that? How do I know that? Because no promoter is going to allow a fighter to come over to their stable, and after they done invested, and built up a fighter, bringing that fighter like a Regis Prograis into title contention, and then that fighter wins the title. All the groundwork and the footwork it takes to be able to build the fighter up, just so another fighter outside of the promotional banner can come over, beat their world champion that they invested in all this time, this money, and resources, just so this challenger can come in and beat their champion, take the champion's belt, become the new champion, and then just walk away. That's not how the business of boxing works. All right? It's not good business. So, of course, there was going to be another fight deal on the table, whether it be an option or not, but that's just how the business works. I know people kept hearing on YouTube and other places that Devin Haney only had just an exclusive one-fight deal with Eddie Hearn. But y'all just heard what Eddie Hearn say, heard what he said just now, that they have an option with Devin Haney. Obviously, there's a connection with Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Promotions, and the actual contract that they have with DAZN. the network, the platform they will use for this fight. Any fight that Devin Haney fights on will be on the network of the Zone as long as they have Eddie Hearn. So that's something that we all need to be on the same page about. Double salute to a new member of the channel. Always been a member of the Road to Take Film crew as a subscriber, but now it's official. He's now been promoted to a supervisor of the Road to Take Film crew, and I'm talking about my guy who always come to class first, or one of the ones that come to class first. Double salute to him again, my guy, Andre Noble. Salute to you, Dre. Thank you for your support to the channel, my brother. And so now that we see this has been going on, Rolly Romero got to fight Pitbull Cruz. Now let's talk about that fight real quick, because I saw the press conference, and hopefully this is not going to be the only one. I'm sure it's not, because we got until May 30th until these guys fight. But they got to spice it up. You know how Rolly is. Rolly put the press conferences on notice. You know what I mean? And we need that type of energy. You know, talking trash and just, respectful. And you did, Dre. You did tell me you was going to join, and you finally did. And I'm excited about it, my brother. But listen, everybody keep talking about how short he is, how short Pitbull Cruz is. They're gonna get it in. I'm gonna tell you like this here. I wouldn't be surprised if Rolly versus Pitbull Cruz steal the show. No disrespect to Keith Thurman and Tim Tszyu, but I wouldn't be surprised if Tim Tszyu and Thurman take a back seat, not on the actual card, but I'm talking about as far as the competitive nature. Take a back seat to Pitbull Cruz and Rolly, because I think they're going to get it on. Now, of course, I got a message for Rolly. The same message I give to all the young fighters. Okay? If you're listening, Rolly, and I'm not saying he is, but let's just say he hypothetically. See, I give managerial advice whether the fighter's listening or not. You never know. One day they might listen. Somebody might slide them a video from me, and they might hear it. You never know. Somebody they know might watch the content. You never know. Stranger things have happened on this channel. Yeah. So Rolly Romero, this is what you're going to have to do. Listen to the manager now. You're not the only fighter I done told this to. So hear me and hear me good. Rolly, don't you break down Isaac Cruz, because I heard you in the press conference, brother. You was already pointing out some negativity about him, talking about he only fought this many times and that many times, and you only fought once, and he's flat-footed, and he's standing right in front of you, and he's shorter than you. Don't you do that. Don't do it, because see, what's going to happen is, young fella, if you beat him, especially in dramatic fashion, you're not going to get the credit that you deserve. So what you're going to need to do in the next press conferences, right? Start building him up. Build him up so that when you win the fight, guess what? You'll get all the credit that you deserve, because the audience that's listening in to you, the audience that's a part of the paying public, because this is a pay-per-view event now. So you got to make an appeal to the buying public. See, you got to be a salesman, Rolly. And I know you are a salesman when you talk real heavy, like you did in the Tank fight. You helped sell that fight. I give you credit for that, and I appreciate you for that. That's good. But now in this fight, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to give that man Isaac Cruz credit. Even if you talk about how active he's been, give him credit. Build him up. Yeah, say you're going to knock him out. Say you're going to beat him. But what you got to do is build him up, because if you start talking about how corny he is, how much power punches that he throw but don't really land, if you start talking about he don't really have no power, if you start telling people how much power you got and he never faced nobody like you, you're not selling it to the casual audience. See, you got to make the casuals want to buy it. And if the casuals hear one fighter saying how they're going to dominate this fighter and dominate this fighter and dominate their opponent, you know what? They're not going to have an excuse or a reason to want to pay for it. See, when you do that, they'll say, you know what? Well, I'll wait till the fight is over and I'll watch the highlights free on YouTube within an hour after the fight go off. No, we don't want that in boxing. Okay? What we want you to do is say, man, he's been active. He just fought on an undercard of Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. He got some great exposure. He got a good fan base. He can take a punch. Man, listen, I might be taller than him, but he a pit bull. I know he gonna come and fight, and we gonna get it on. I'm gonna knock him out, but we gonna get it on. He's not gonna lay down. Yeah, you got to talk like that. You see, when you talk like that, it's making people gonna say, "Dad, hey, dude, let me see some highlights." I'm talking about the casuals, not the hardcore. The hardcore, you already got us. I'm talking about the casual fans, right? They start looking at highlights on Pitbull Cruz, and they say, "Man, this dude is a pit bull, and he fighting this guy." Let me see what Rolly looked like on his highlights. That's what casuals do. And they see both of y'all styles, man, it's gonna be a good one. And then they start following after the press conferences. They start looking at your interviews, looking at his and his interpreters. And then they say, man, I'm gonna buy into this. That's how you want to sell this thing. You know, everybody can't be Ali. See, Muhammad Ali was talking heavy. Oh, this guy's a mummy. He's flat-footed. He can't beat me. I'm so pretty. See, that worked for Ali. Everybody can't beat Muhammad Ali when it comes down to him making those predictions and him talking about his opponents. See, he already had star power when he was doing all of that. So what I'm saying is when you're growing into the business, you're building your resume up in the business, these are the things you're going to have to do as a young fighter. Build that guy up, even if you know you can beat him. So when you do beat him, guess what happens? All the expectation level for you is going to exceed, and then you get bigger and better fights. That's selling in the business of boxing. I told that to Devin Haney right here on YouTube. Go back and look at it on my channel now, back in April and May. You know what I mean? I kept saying it over and over. What I kept saying? I said, Devin, stop calling Lomachenko old, because he kept saying it. Don't call him old, because if you beat him, people going to criticize you and say, you beat up an old, washed-up fighter. And what happened? That's what they said, right? He did it again against Regis. I came right on here. Go back and look a couple months ago at the press conference and at the face-off that they did. I said, Devin, I know you're 10 years younger than Regis, but just don't keep on saying that, because if you do, the man is 10 years older than you, in his 30s. If you do that, guess what people are going to say? If you beat him, oh, you beat up a flat-footed Rolly who was 10 years, a flat-footed Regis who was 10 years older than you. You're not going to get the credit. So what you got to do, these young fighters, I'm trying to teach you how the business works. You got to grow your resume by building up your opponents, even if you know you can wash them and beat them. Your job is to make the casual fans buy into what you are selling. Buy into what the promoter is selling, which is you. So the promoter is selling you the product, and you are selling yourself, the business. Build up your opponents, even if you know you can beat them. Build them up, because you know you're going to bring them back down. Because if you bring them down before the fight, well, there's nowhere to be built up for you. Because if you beat them, that's to be expected. And guess what? Your viewership not going to be there. I don't know what the viewership numbers was, but it's justifiable because people saying, well, Devin is right. The guy is flat-footed. Devin is right. He is 10 years older than him. So when you keep devaluing your opponents over and over, it looks bad on you. It shows character flaws in you. So don't do that. I'm trying to help y'all understand the business. And tell your dad the same thing. And if Bill Haney's watching this, or y'all know Bill Haney, send this video to him and tell him what I said. He's got to do the same thing. Don't keep devaluing these fighters and diminishing them and disrespecting them and discrediting them. Give them credit. That's how you sell these things, these fights. Because if you keep on saying, oh, man, this fight don't got nothing. My son the best in the world. this boy's a clown. He only got a left hook. He ain't got nothing else. And then when you disarm the left hook, people gonna be like, man, I ain't buying another fight because they done predicted it already. What's the point of going to the movies when somebody done saw the movie already, gonna come back to you and say, man, I know every scene that's gonna happen in that new movie. The first thing you're gonna tell them is, oh, don't tell me what happened. Because if they tell you, they spoiling it. And that person is not gonna want to invest their time, money, and resources to watch that movie. You know, it's the same thing. We talking entertainment here. All right. So I'm just trying to teach the young guys in the business, build them up. Because guess what? When you build them up and you lose, guess what people going to say? Well, Dad, at least Broly did say that Pitbull is really a Pitbull. At least Broly did say he did have a little power. So guess what? You're going to win fans. I told y'all this last year on this channel. What did I tell you guys and ladies? I said, even if you lose a fight, you can still win a fan. You never heard it nowhere else. That's why I'm glad y'all here today. You can lose a fight as a boxer and still win a fan. Now somebody said, well, you got to give me an example. I sure am. Pitbull Cruz. Isak Pitbull Cruz. He fought Tank Davis. Right? We got to call it like it is. He fought Tank Davis on a few weeks' notice, almost a month to be exact, I believe, for a title. Because watch this. When he fought Tank Davis, he wasn't the original opponent for Tank Davis. He wasn't. The original opponent for Tank Davis was who? Rolly Romero. And then they came out with their false misinformation of that he assaulted some woman or something like that. Y'all remember that? So what happened is that fight fell apart. So Isak Cruz was like, hey, I'll fight him. Because you know he got the call. Yeah, you know Al and them gave him the call. Sure, I'll fight him. Few weeks notice. So he didn't have a full training camp when he fought Tank Davis. And we got to keep it 100 with this. Tank Davis, he injured his hand. Y'all remember that? No excuses, but he showed us the evidence. He's not hearsay. So what I'm trying to get you to see is that Isak Cruz did a good job because we haven't seen Tank Davis have to make so many adjustments in the fight before. Y'all seen them adjustments that he made, right? And he came out with the victory and he won. So even though Pitbull Cruz lost the fight, he won a fan. And when you win fans in this business, opportunities come your way. And if you look at Pitbull Cruz's career, after he fought Tank, it's been up ever since. Now he about to fight again for a world title. Even though he won a split controversial decision in July on the undercard of Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. The fact that he was on the undercard was a big opportunity for him. You see what I'm trying to say? Even the fight before that, he looked real good. But in that last fight, I don't know, that young boy might have, I had that close, man. I ain't gonna, and I was at the fight live in living color. I was there. I don't know. That fight could have really went either way. So what I'm saying is he won a fan since he fought Tank Davis, and he won opportunities after that. And here it go again. He's got a full training camp and another opportunity, another lick at a big fight. And watch this, on the undercard of a pay-per-view. So if Pitbull win, listen, he can headline his own pay-per-view. See, you got to see what the promoters do. They got to put you got to, what Drake say, started from the bottom and we here, you got to start from the bottom on the card. Then you go to that mid-level card. You be on the mid-level, the mid-tier on the card. Then you work your way up, co-main event, then you become the main event. You never heard this analogy nowhere else on YouTube. I told y'all a year ago. What did I tell y'all? When promoters are promoting events and you look at the card, for all my new audience and new members of the channel and new members of the Road to Take Film crew and my new subscribers, hear me and hear me good. I'm going to teach you something about promotion now. When you look at the card in boxing, from the first fight all the way to the main event, I like to give this analogy so all the boxing fans can know what you're looking at on how these cards are materialized in the order that these fights are in on the cards. It's sort of like when you go to a restaurant, right? You got your bread and water, right? You got the appetizer, then you got the entree. All right. You got your bread and water. You got your bread. When you go to any event, now it might not be televised, but it's still the entire card. So about the whole entire card, including the fights at the bottom of the card that's not televised, right? The principle applies. All right. You got your 4 and your 6 rounders. That's your bread and water. All right. And you got your mid tier. You got your mid tier. You got your mid tier. It's a 12-round main event. You got your mid tier, your appetizer, your 8 to 10 rounders. And the entree is the 12 rounders. I mean, and if it's a 10-round main event, it's the same principle. All right. Your 8-rounder, your 6 and 8 rounders, that'll be your appetizer. Your 4 rounders, that'll be your bread and water. Then, of course, the entree will be the 10-round main event, and just like the 12-round main event. All right. So that's how this thing really works when I educate you all about the business of boxing. All right. Mr. Pratt, double salute to you. Member of the channel, of course, always been. He's the first member of the channel. Supervisor of the Road to Take Film crew. Yeah, no doubt. All right, hold on. Somebody want me to drop the link. All right, I'll drop it. Of course. You asked me to drop it, I'm going to drop it. Hold on for a minute. Let me see how you put this in the whistling. Hold on, somebody asked me to drop the link. Let me see something. Bam. Y'all got that link? Link is in the chat. Yeah, link all in the chat. Let me see if I can pin it to the top real quick. All right, hold on. So let me see something. Pin that to the tizak. Yeah, I flew the kite out there. Yeah. Flew the kite out. Bam. Pin to the top of the chat now. Yeah, salute to everybody that's acknowledging me in the chat. Welcome to everybody that's just joining in. Yeah, go ahead and yeah, Mr. Pragmatic definitely had to rejoin. We didn't know what the issue was going on with that. Yeah, link is pinned to the top of the chat. So yeah. All right. So we got Brooklyn here. Tay M2. Got to show me your face, Tay M2. Tay M2, you backstage. Show me your face. Show me your face before I let you on. Brooklyn, I think Brooklyn been on here before, right?
Yeah, I've been on your show before.
Yeah. Brooklyn, you've been on. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, man? What's going on? I just came to chop it up real quick with you about the video you dropped earlier about the Bud fan. About the Bud fan saying you needed proof, but I'll fall back on that and just cook with the topic for today.
No. We waiting for you, brother. Anybody that want to come up, we gonna talk to. See, what we want to do is educate the people, bro. Tay M2, first time joining the platform. What's going on, Tay M2? Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. I appreciate you, man. I watch your channel all the time, bro. You got great content, man. Salute to you.
Salute to you. Thank you for your viewership. Tay, real quick, Tay, before you start, the brother Brooklyn, he's been up here a couple times, so he know how to format work. Brooklyn, you want to talk to me about a video I published earlier regarding the conversation I had with a fellow Terrence Bart Crawford fan who was here last night, and I was speaking to him regarding some of the biases. He was speaking to me about some of the biases. He said that my channel is propaganda. Speak on it, brother. What's your take on that video, brother?
Basically, I always say, like I said in the comments, but beneath it, words matter. When you quoted Victor Conte, you said Victor Conte looked at this other fighter, and he said he would look over to see who the fighter was associated with, and he would assume that this fighter, blah blah blah. Now, an assumption is not proof. It's just another form of an accusation. So it's just until there's solid evidence, a whistleblower, just like what happened with well, what's the name, the bike rider Lance Armstrong many years ago. It was a whistleblower who blew him up. So until either a whistleblower, someone is an eyewitness or something like that, then we can say there's evidence that this man's a cheater. Because a lot of times on other platforms I'm on, you know, I've been on your platform enough, and I've seen the names in the comments, whereas I'm seeing some people from your channel coming over there and making the same accusations you're making. So I always say, listen, unless you have definitive proof, you're just making accusations. And sometimes it doesn't get that far, because when you make an accusation, you are liable for defamation. Whether or not that person wants to come on your channel and clear their name or whatever and say, listen, I don't want to take this YouTuber to court or whatever, or slap an injunction on them, but I'll just try to clear it up myself.
All right. Well, I want to clarify something because I need help understanding when you use the word accusation. Now, I'm not referring to what you mean by other people's channel. I'm not here to defend them. I'm here to defend my channel, my platform, and the Roll the Tape film crew members of this channel. I defend them as well. When you say accusation, what accusations have I made?
That there's something nefarious with the snack program. You've made, or you've given out statements that would lead a person to believe that even after Victor Conte's incarceration and things like that, and him paying for his crime through the criminal court system, that he's still involved in those nefarious activities, whether or not he's exposing them for what they are today, or somehow or another with him and Bud, there's something not quite right. So when you make those type of accusations, it gives a person a certain impression that the fighter is doing something wrong in conjunction with this guy, because you said Bud has an association with Victor Conte and he just buys his product. There's no real association with him, because again, I talked to the man's cousin on his platform, and there are B&B fighters that are there on the platform as well as part of the host.
I see. So when you say nefarious, Brooklyn, I am a college dropout, and you're using very big words. I want to say it sounds like to me, they say I'm intelligent anyway, but who cares? But it sounds like to me you're saying that I'm accusing Terrence Bud Crawford of using illegal performance-enhancing drugs. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, to be blunt about it, yes, within the confines of the snack program and whatever else. Like, as you would say, the snack program.
Oh, yes. So you haven't heard me say, I got to take my glasses off for this. I love this type of stuff. So you haven't heard me use those words myself. You haven't heard me use those words, but you're, I guess, insinuating that I'm insinuating. Is that what you're referring to?
No, not at all.
Oh.
Because the point I'm making is, within the video, you directly said you told the brother, he said, if I came out today right now and said Terrence Crawford is a cheater, he's a drug he's a cheater, whatever. I'm not quoting you verbatim. I'm kind of paraphrasing on it, but you're saying if I said these things about Bud Crawford right now, what would you say? Would you say I'm right or wrong or whatever? Then the dude answered your question, and then you said, now, I want you to listen to me, and then as I break this down to you, I just want you not to interrupt me. And then you went into the whole everything that Victor Conte said. So you're using what Victor Conte says as a way to push or say the things you're saying about Terrence Crawford. So that's what I mean by nefarious and making accusations. I'm telling you what you said.
Right. Well, you have to put it in context when you say what I say, because I'm actually making a reference. So I'm glad that you were able to repeat what I said almost verbatim. So I appreciate your listening skills. So what I was basically saying to the gentleman, and I'll say this to you and any other Terrence Crawford fan that's listening to me now or the replay of this live, is that if I came out publicly and stated Terrence Crawford is using performance enhancement drugs, he's juicing, he's cheating, I asked the gentleman, how would that make him feel? What did he think about that? And he specifically said to me, if you said that, Manager Marty, you'll be wrong because there's no evidence. So I was using that as a reference to say, okay, if you're going to use that rule to apply it to me, if I said that, how come it was okay when Victor Conte said it? See, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to direct the attention of Terrence Crawford fans to what Victor Conte said, the guy who your favorite fighter is over there with. In other words, is he can make these outlandish statements of Manny Pacquiao cheating, Manny Pacquiao using performance enhancement drugs in his opinion, and not near Terrence Crawford fan judge that man. They never went over and said Victor Conte, and he was here. He was on this platform twice, and I haven't heard not one Terrence Crawford fan in my chat or in the comment section say, Victor Conte, you didn't have any evidence when you accused Manny Pacquiao. That wasn't right. You said something and you had no evidence, and that man never tested dirty or positive. None of y'all held that man accountable. Oh, but Manager Marty didn't even say the words. That's why I asked you, did you hear me say those words? I didn't even say the words that Terrence Crawford is juicing or using anything illegal. I never once said the man was dirty. But see, y'all are giving me all of this criticism and coming back, giving me pushback and accusing me of insinuation. But when the guy Terrence Crawford hanging with now, the suspicious guy, him, when he say these accusations against other fighters, y'all don't say nothing to him. The rules seem not to apply when it come to me. That's the reference and example I was using to the guy last night. It wasn't to prove no point that Terrence Crawford's dirty. I'm proving a point that y'all being biased against.
No, I'm not going to be biased because I'm going to say this to you, Marty. If I would have had the opportunity to ask Victor Conte a question, I would ask him, what proof do you have to say Manny Pacquiao or any other fighter is dirty when you did have a direct relationship with Conor Benn and he popped dirty? So at the end of the day, mister, let me just say this to you. If you don't have the proof, don't say it, because then you in boxing, you're only making the sport seem more corrupt, and that may turn people away from the thing you're trying to make money in by selling your snack program. And
but did you hear him? Let me ask you a question, Brooklyn. Did you hear Victor Conte say that before I just said it just now? Did you hear him say that?
Yes.
You did?
I heard him talk about Manny Pacquiao in the past. Yes, sir.
About using performance enhancement drugs?
He questioned Manny Pacquiao's performances.
Hey, can I say something? I'm sorry.
Hold on, take. Hold on, I got. You see, I got to take the glasses off real slow. I got to ask you a question on that, Brooklyn.
Go ahead.
So if you heard Victor Conte say that, then why don't you have a problem with him hanging with your homie and your favorite fighter, Bud Crawford? Then
Listen. Here's where it comes down. It comes down to, okay, you have a past. You said stupid shit or stupid things. I don't want to use you said stupid things, but nowadays I see you're trying to clean that up and start and be a businessman.
How you know? You ain't got no evidence of that.
I'll give you a mulligan on that one alone. If you violate that again, then I'm not rocking with
Why
that.
man needs second and third chances, and again, I don't even get
giving him
credit
second and third.
I don't even get chances at the chances.
I gave you I don't know how many jump offs. This is why I come on here and I try to talk to you and I try to have intelligent conversations with you, bro.
You told me that if Victor Conte do it again, all these chances he get, and I don't get not one chance.
You're getting a chance with me because I'm having a conversation with you right now and saying, okay, I'll give you that talking point. I'm not going to take that away. I'm not going to take that talking point away from you. It's a valid talking point for some of these Crawford fans who are just blind about it. I'm a boxing fan first. There's going to be a day when Terrence Crawford retires. I was a boxing fan before Terrence Crawford came into the game. I'll be a boxing fan long after he's out of the game. And this is why I'm not going to try to drag myself over hot coals to give, to give extra credence to whatever. But I'm always going to try to keep it factual and not make a statement that I necessarily can't prove. And if I can't prove it and I'm wrong, I'll say, yo, I was wrong.
Damn, that's the shit. You black, right, Brooklyn?
I'm Native American and black.
Native American. Well, the reason I'm asking, because I don't get all in the race. But what happens is on this channel, we got people that be in the chat, all in my comment section. When this thing is over, they're going to be in the comment section, and everybody keep bringing up race, the black power, everybody activists. Woo-hoo! But then now the white man get away with he need mercy, he get all these chances, and all I do is say one thing, and I get crucified. Oh my gosh, I don't get no credit from my own people. Hey Tay, what's going on, Tay M2? What's going on, brother?
What's going on, Marty? How you doing, dog?
I'm great. You want to speak on something to this?
Yeah, brother? I want to speak on a few things, man, because all respect to you, Brooklyn, but what he just said, it just didn't make sense because I've watched your channel for a while, so you listen to the other side and you come up with a logic point on it. You're not liable for defamation. You've never said Terrence Crawford is on steroids or anything. You just gather evidence and you base your opinion on it. Victor Conte did the same thing. He never said Manny Pacquiao is on steroids. He said he believes. That's his opinion. We have freedom of speech, right? Yes. Right. So, and I feel like it's a lot of Terrence Crawford fans that don't hold him accountable as in Terrence Crawford. Because he sat there in front of the whole world. He said, Errol Spence, you made this fight happen. Errol Spence said, hopefully we can do it at 154. Now he's trying to run away from that fight. He was the one who backed out of negotiations and went to fight somebody else. Nobody talks about that. So his character is already shot in my eyes. Because like I said, you went in front of the whole world and you lied in front of everyone's face. If this rematch doesn't happen. So I don't know, man. It's just like I feel like his fans kind of just feed off of his BS and they're just, they're just butt bandits. No offense to anybody.
But bro, but Tay, respectfully, I respect your point of view, but the actual fact is my comment didn't have anything to do with Terrence Crawford. It was regarding to Victor Conte. I was saying Victor Conte, because when you make an accusation about a person's product or their business, they can hold you liable. Whether it doesn't it listen, if they can tie the comment to directly mean you're talking about their product.
Okay.
And
Right.
you're
I got
saying something nefarious that by saying and quoting manager Marty, and I'm not trying to make an argument for the man, by
But it
quoting
sounds
manager
like you
Marty,
are.
when you go when he went to the website and he showed it increases your strength, adds weight, and performance enhancement.
Yeah, that's on your screen.
Right there.
supposed to though, brother.
Yeah, there it is.
When you write that right there, and you're saying that performance enhancement element is meaning something more than what it is, then
No,
straight
no,
up and
no, no.
market.
But I
Let
never.
me land my plane.
Brooklyn,
Let me land
Brooklyn,
my plane, please. I let you speak.
Brooklyn.
I didn't.
All right, but I have to go right after
All
you.
I'm saying is, when you make that statement, a crafty young lawyer, one of them Harvard graduates or Columbia University graduates, can drag you over a bed of hot coals for that. And
Okay.
whether or not that actually happens, and I hope it doesn't, because the man's content is respectable a lot of the times, and it's legitimate a lot of the times. At the
Okay.
end of the day, I don't have to always agree with Manager Marty's content.
Okay.
And I'm not going to be a person who comes up here or go on any channel that 100% agrees with anyone's content.
Right. Right.
That's what makes great content.
Okay.
It's the disagreement part about it. So that's
Okay.
all I'm saying.
I got
That's
you.
all
All right.
I'm
So,
saying. So hopefully you understand.
okay, Brooklyn. Okay. So here's where you get confused. So Victor Conte said himself is certain things out there that enhances your performance. That doesn't necessarily mean it's illegal. You can go to GNC and get something to enhance your performance. Manager Marty never said illegal performance enhancement drugs. He just asked, "What do you mean by other things?" So you're getting performance enhancements confused with illegal steroids. That
No,
doesn't
I'm
mean
not.
legal.
I'm
You
not.
are, but you are because you just
No,
said
I'm not, because
his
I know the
products
difference
enhance
between the two.
his products are supposed to enhance your performance. That's why you taking the products.
Just like ginseng enhances your performance, just like weed can enhance certain people's performance, just like eating a banana after working out can enhance your
Right.
performance.
And his supplements do the same thing. So what's the point? How can you
But when you
argue for
make an
that though?
when you try to tie that into his actual performance by saying, okay, where did this knockout power come from? Where
The
did
enhancements.
or whatever come from? Okay,
Bro,
Let me
performance
clarify. Let
enhancement
me
does not equal
he
power.
never said the word illegal is what I'm telling you, brother.
It doesn't have to be. That's what I'm trying to let you know in a real
Okay, so
defamation.
let me
Real
clarify this.
defamation. Bro.
So let me clarify this now. For all the lawyers listening to me, the prosecutor, if it don't matter who you represent, if you want to come for me, you better make sure you bet this for any attorney, because it sounds like Brooklyn trying to get me. Brooklyn trying to get. He's trying to get somebody an idea to drag me into the courthouse. You better make sure. You better make sure when you come for Manager Marty, hear me and hear me good. You better make sure that your clients can be able to interpret the words that they say. You see, Brooklyn is one fact that you didn't include in this, and I'm going to include it for you. Everything I said about Victor Conte, I used his words. Everything I said about Bud Crawford in this situation, I used his words. You see, I use these guys' words. So don't get mad at I'm just a messenger, bruh. Every video I did, when I said anything about Victor Conte based on an interview he's done here, I use his words. See, it's what he said out of that's not defamation of character if he's saying it out of his mouth, bruh. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, I'm not trying to. I'm gonna just land the plane with this. I'm not trying to convince anybody they have a legal case against you or a legal suit against you. All I'm saying is a smart lawyer can figure that out.
They can't figure nothing out when their client is using their own words. What they gonna figure out?
Understand this. And just for Tate, who tried to tell me I didn't understand the First Amendment. Well, there's two components to the First Amendment: to right to speak and the right not to speak. That's it. You also have a right not to speak when you exercise your First Amendment rights. So at the end of the day, bro.
That's the Fifth Amendment, though.
No, it's not. It's the first. Your First Amendment right. You have the freedom of speech and the freedom not to speak. Go look it up, bro.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I see what you're saying. You're right. Absolutely.
Well,
okay.
Well, don't forget, there's something else in the First Amendment. It's called freedom of the press. And you know, I got a podcast, so I'm representing the press, brother.
Yes. So even if you're representing the press. Even if you're representing the press, and I really want to land this plane and just move on to the topic because it's getting far away from what I was initially trying to say. But all I'm saying is there have been plenty legal precedents that show where the press have published a story and had to retract that story and all other kind of things, just like the Smartmatic thing in the last election with Donald Trump and what's the name? But like I said, there's all types of legal precedent. So at the end of
not over here. What I'm saying is what I'm saying is what you're saying does not apply to me. It don't apply to me because what I'm saying is the same things that the guys that I just mentioned, they're saying it. You see, Victor Conti's saying words, and all I'm doing is providing interpretation of his words that he said on this channel.
So you said you're providing interpretation. So once you
absolutely,
once you interpret that actual statement,
let me give you an example.
That be defamation. Whether
no,
you
it's not. No, I'm gonna give you an example so you understand what I'm saying, and everybody listening, because I got the audience, the viewership is increasing exponentially. Victor Conti, I'm gonna give you an example. Victor Conti said out of his mouth, this is what he said. Now I can pull it up. He said that when the fighters that's in SNEC, and he actually used Terrence Crawford as a reference, because the super chat was asked of him of Terrence Crawford. Okay, and I published this video earlier this week. He used Terrence Crawford as a reference. He said, I hired an orthopedic surgeon. He's on the staff at SNAC. He comes over to the facility and he may have to give an injection to a fighter. That's what he said. Hear me out. Then he said, all I'd have to do, I reach out to Margaret. He's talking about Margaret Goodman, the founder of VADA, Voluntary Anti-Doping Association. And once I reach out to her, I show her the prescription. And then she takes it to the medical review board at VADA to get it approved. And then we can have permission to do what we need to do medically on the fighter's behalf. That's what he said out of his mouth. The general public did not understand the process of what Victor Conti said when he said that. So what I did was I used his words and I interpreted for the audience, for educational purposes, of the process he was referring to. And the process that he was referring to is on your screen right now. And that process is called a therapeutic use exemption. And you see it on your screen right now. And it tells you very clearly of what it is. It ensures that athletes can be treated for medical conditions, even if the treatment involves using a prohibited substance or method while avoiding the risk of being sanctioned. So when I say that I'm interpreting the words of Victor Conti, it's not out of context. I'm not putting words in his mouth. I'm actually showing you all that the things that he's saying makes a lot of sense when you put it in the proper context of anti-doping. Now, hold on, Brooklyn, mute your phone. Now, when you have a prescription as an athlete, you have a prescription. And the video I'm referring to when I say prescription is, let's say, and Victor Conte's words, not mine. He said, if Terrence Crawford may be low, he said, theoretically speaking, Terrence might be low in iron. To go back to the video you talking about that I did. Well, it's not theoretical. It wasn't theoretical because Terrence Crawford was on Joe Rogan. I pointed this out in August, a month after the fight with Spence. And he said, I'm anemic. We know that that's low in iron when he said it. So if Victor Conte says that since Bud Crawford is low in iron, there's some methods that has to be used in order for him to get a prescription from a doctor and get it approved by a medical review board of an anti-doping agency, he's saying, see, you don't need to go through a medical review board, or an athlete don't have to fill out the application of a therapeutic use exemption if there's no banned substance that's going to be used to treat the medical condition of the athlete. It wouldn't be necessary. So what I'm saying is, for educational purposes, I interpreted that because y'all, the boxing fans and other content creators that come over here and watch, y'all don't know what he's saying, so it flew over your head. So it's my job, it's my responsibility, because he said it in front of me. He said it at a question that I asked him, and I'm the man who represents the business of boxing, and I know the entire process. It's my job to catch you all up to speed so that we all can be on the same page. That's what this whole channel is about. So what I'm saying to you is, if an attorney want to come over here or anything, they got to make sure that their client is on point. Because I got every evidence that I speak about if I say something publicly out here before all of y'all, believe me, I got the evidence to back up what I'm saying. So what I'm saying to you is that when you say a smart lawyer can come and do, they can't do that here. I already dotted my I's and crossed my T's. I'm not going to speak on something that I have no evidence of. That would be foolish of me. Then I'd be just like the other content creators. So what I do is make sure I stay within the confines to make sure that not just me, but everybody else I'm protected is good. See, the first thing we learn in boxing is to protect yourself at all times. And that's exactly what I do. But I do it within the confines of spreading the truth. And see, the thing is, I never gave my opinion yet, Brooklyn. Tayum too. I never gave my opinion yet. You never heard me publicly give my opinion on this anti-doping situation. I only come with the facts. Every video I drop, whether it be with Victor Conte or whoever else, I came with facts. I never gave my opinion. Brooklyn, do you at least agree with that part?
Yes and no, but here's what I'm saying.
I got you, Martin.
We were on a show. I was on your channel, and Victor Conte was in the comments, and we were speaking about all the different ways of doping. I brought up TUEs way back then because I brought up the fact of Jamel Charlo, Errol Spence being in a car accident, just to use them as examples that you can use. You know what I'm saying? You can use, and you can get a TUE once you get back in training. And to me, sometimes some of these fighters be having these sketchy injuries that they claim they have in camp just so they can file for a TUE without having the medical proof of it and things like that. And then you look at their performance and they come out and knock a dude out in 5 rounds or whatever. But at the end of the day, I spoke on TUEs, and I've been speaking on TUEs for years since when people were talking about AJ is such a great fighter. And I said, then if you go to UKADA and you look at how many TUEs he has and the injuries and all of these other things don't coincide with the amount of TUEs. And I said, this is not me. This is UK content creators blowing that man up on this. You feel what I'm saying? So since what? 2016, 2017, I've been talking about TUEs. I have no issue, at times, depending on the circumstance, if a fighter gets a TUE or not. but then it's always like, okay, do you have all the medical records to follow up with that?
What does that have to do with me bringing the facts on my channel, bro?
Like I said, I'm trying to steer away from that conversation, so I'm going in this.
I'm not. I want all the smoke. You brought it
There
in.
is no more smoke.
Talk about it, bro.
There is no more smoke. I'm just saying.
Well, you brought it here.
You have your opinion, and I'm going to let you rock with your opinion. But sometimes your opinion can get you in trouble.
But I didn't give my opinion.
Interpreting the facts.
I didn't give my opinion.
Once you interpret something and it goes from the original, whatever, and it doesn't coincide, and it still gives the impression that you're making a certain type of statement to say that someone is doing X, Y, and Z for nefarious reasons.
Bro, that doesn't apply to me. You can't apply that to
me. That's your opinion.
I never gave my opinion at all.
You're giving your opinion when you say it doesn't apply to me.
Brother, you're not understanding.
Okay, put it to you like this.
Stop trying to tell me I don't understand. I'm listening to the man.
You don't, bro. I'm just being real with you, dog. You
don't understand real shit, so shut the fuck up.
All right, yo, chill. Well, we don't do that here. We don't do that here. Hold on, brothers. We men. We gentlemen.
You don't understand common sense, bro.
Yo, we gentlemen over here. We gentlemen. Listen, what I'm saying to you is all I did was speak facts. When it comes to this whole entire, I haven't given my opinion yet. All I did was say that Terrence Crawford and everybody over at the snack program, that their performances are enhanced. That is a true statement. That is not an opinion. If you say that's just my opinion and it's not true, then that means that what you see on your screen right now is false advertisement from what snacks say their products and their program does. You see? So yeah, this is their stuff. I didn't type this in there. You see what I'm saying? So if you say that,
Marty, didn't you actually make a statement where you went back and you said, when you look at his fight from this fight to this fight, you see X, Y, and Z. So you're saying, does the snack program work? When you was on that mission of trying to get people to say the snack program works.
I ain't trying to get people to say nothing. People said it because they wanted to say it because they saw the same thing I was seeing.
You kept on asking me the question. You kept on asking me the direct question. Does the snack program work? I said, yes, it works, but not in the way you're trying to make it seem like it.
What's the problem? We both saying the same thing. It works.
We're saying, listen, whether you guys want to admit to the word insinuation or accusations, that's you. If you want to act like those words don't exist and those words can't have you legally bound to something because you're insinuating something, and then you're trying to prove it by saying X, Y, and Z.
Hey, bro, if you like Crawford, just say it, bro. If you're a Crawford fan, just say it, brother.
I am a Crawford fan. What does that have to do with my understanding of words?
Tell, bro, because if you got common sense as a man, you will understand where
I do have common sense. See, the problem is, I do have common sense. Just because you and I don't think on the same common grounds doesn't mean anything.
Brother, if you was a lawyer, you wouldn't
of opinion.
If you was a lawyer, you wouldn't win any of your cases, bro.
Okay, that's your opinion. That's your opinion again. Whether you can prove it factually, that's something different. I'm trying to inform this man, but you just have a problem with English words. Maybe what you understand and what you read and your reading comprehension is not that great, and you're trying to let me feel a certain way. You cannot do that because I stand on what I say. I say what I mean, and I mean what I say. That's the difference between me and you, and it doesn't matter what who it doesn't matter. That doesn't dictate my thinking. That has nothing to do with the way I think. I'm a businessman. I'm a person who has businesses. I'm a businessman. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to let you know is, listen, There's a difference between a business person and an employee. You're an employee, so you can't think the way I think.
So
Because I know
it's a difference. It's a difference
if I
between a
give you my
boxing fan
real
All right,
name,
let's stay.
and a
All right,
my
listen.
real
CrossFit fan,
name,
brother.
So
you can
let's stay.
Google me. You
So
can
let's stay.
Google me and see what I do.
All right, so hold on.
You're talking
Let's
about
stay.
yourself.
Hold on, gentlemen. Let's stay within the context. We
And
don't.
that's what I've been trying to do.
All right,
But
hold on. I got it from you,
correcting me on some
I
white
got it. It's all right. It's all
stuff.
right. It's all right. I got it.
He's emotional. It's okay.
Let's stay.
I was emotional, bro.
All right, listen. Let's stay on the confines of the topic. No personal shots here. All I'm saying is every word that Victor Conti said on this platform, if I want to keep replaying it, I'm going to do that.
And you have every right to.
I know I do. But see, the thing is, what it is this. I figured it out. I'm going to end it with this because I figured it out. I see what's going on. And I understand that people might not agree with me, and that's cool. What I've discovered throughout this whole process of me talking about the snack program, because not even the Crawford fans that I'm cool with, not one on YouTube and off, not one Terrence Crawford fan included him being with the snack program in their keys to victory of beating Errol Spence. I haven't heard one Crawford fan say, well, he's with the snack program, and that's one of the, I'm going to put that on the list of 20 reasons why he's going to beat Errol Spence. None of y'all used it in y'all keys to victory. But then when I used it, after he won, I'm the bad guy. But I figured it out. Y'all didn't have a problem with him being over there with Victor Conti. You didn't have a problem with him going over to the guy with his history. Now, y'all don't have no evidence that the man, Victor Conti, changed his life around. Y'all don't have no evidence. Y'all just using the fact that he said it out his mouth. Y'all have no evidence that he's not doing the same thing that he did with Balco. None of y'all. Just like y'all say, I don't have any evidence if he's doing something wrong. So what's good for the goose has to be good for the gander. But I figured it all out. What I figured out and discovered is this. The reason why y'all don't have a problem with it, and the reason why y'all have a problem with me saying it, and y'all calling it an excuse, is because y'all don't care. As long as Crawford beat Errol Spence, y'all don't care how he did it.
Exactly.
Y'all don't care if his performance was enhanced, legal or illegal. Y'all don't care. I figured it out, and it's okay. So now my deal is this. We don't know if he can beat Spence or not without the snack program.
Okay, so let me ask you this question then, Mark.
Come on with it.
Before he got on the snack program, was he or was he not a 2-division lineal champion and an undisputed champion?
Who? Crawford?
Yes.
Before he was.
Okay, so that's skill. That is a level of skill. All right.
Yes.
Did you have him on the snack? Did you say he wouldn't have beaten Sean Porter without the snack program?
No, I did not say that. You want to know why?
Why?
Because Sean Porter was on the snack program too when he fought him.
Okay, so what's the issue?
Huh?
Did you have him beating David Avanesian when he was as a key to him beating David Avanesian, him being on the snack program?
Man, he didn't need the snack program against David Avanesian. You know that.
But he was still on the snack program.
Yeah, he was preparing for Spence. But I got a question for you now. Since you asked me a question.
What?
Can I ask you a question? Now? I answered you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I agree with you that Terrence Crawford, he was undisputed at 140, right? 2-division world champion, undefeated, right?
Also 2-division lineal champion. That says the most.
That don't put more money in a fighter's purse, but okay, we'll use that. Lineal champion. I got a question for you. You see what I'm doing with this phone? In that last video, what did he call? Hey, he got all that. What did he call Victor Conti for? What did he call him for? Huh? What did he call that man for then?
He called them years prior to that. So
I know, but why did he call that man? What did he call him for then?
Marty, check this out. Marty, listen.
I need answers.
Marty.
Somebody give me an answer, please.
No, I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for the.
Hold on real quick, Deshaun. Hold on real quick. Marty, before he got with Victor Conte, was he not undisputed? Like bro said, in 2-time lineal or whatever. So
Yeah.
if you're basically what 35, 36-0, why do you got to call the ex drug cheat though? That's the only question though, brother.
Well, I'm trying to ask the man Brooklyn. I'm waiting for the man Brooklyn to answer that. Why did he call him? What did he call him for?
He called him
for what?
On the words, and this is hearsay. I can't verify it or not because I'm not Terrence Crawford and I wasn't there.
Yeah.
On what he was recommended to by his boy Demetrius Andrade.
No, you can't use that. Because that was from I can't let you get away with that. Because you wouldn't have known that unless Victor Conte told us that a couple weeks ago on this channel.
But Demetrius Andrade also said the same thing a while ago.
When?
No, he didn't. What are you calling for then, bro?
If you're hearing about something is something new and it works and it helps you in recovery and all other aspects of fighting,
bro,
just like Knockout came on and said, why do people go to this trainer over that trainer? Because they want to win.
He was already a winner.
So it doesn't mean you can't be the best.
For Errol Spence, a guy with 10 deficiencies?
Oh my God.
What?
He called Victor Conte for Errol Spence a guy with 10.
No, he called Victor Conte way before Errol Spence. So that's why I say words matter because
he's preparing for him.
You're conflating timelines.
No,
so
he knows what I mean by he called him for
long before then.
I know, we know that.
Years. There's 360 something days in a year, so he did this years.
I know. So listen, what I'm saying is he was preparing for him. So you mean to tell me he got on Snack to fight David Avenesian?
He didn't get on Snack to fight David Avenesian. He didn't get on Snack to fight Sean Porter.
What we talking about this?
What we get
on Snack for?
He got on Snack because that's what he wanted to do.
But why?
I can't explain it. My name isn't Terrence Crawford.
I'm glad you said that. This is where I'm gonna let you go at. Bam, right there. Tay, hold on, Tay, stay right there, don't move. I got to let him go. Because he's not Terrence Crawford when I ask him why he did it. But yet, he's a smart Harvard law lawyer. He can talk for the lawyers and tell me what a smart lawyer is going to do and can do. You see? But then when I asked him about Terrence Crawford and why he called Victor, I don't know. I'm not him. You see, these guys don't want to deal with the real. The real is this, as the viewership is increasing exponentially. The real is very simple. Terrence Crawford went over to the snack program and preparation for Spence. We already know that is a fact. We know that he don't need the snack to fight Sean Porter. We know good and well he didn't need the snack to beat no David Avenesian. It's only one fighter that he went over there for, and that was Errol Spence, okay? Now, I say it's a fact because testimony has to be included as evidence. And LC, the homie and best friend of Terrence Crawford's nephew, came right here on this platform. And he said, when I asked him, I said, you know, Terrence, you know Bud better than all of us. Why would he go to the snake? He said, because people kept telling him, and he obviously believed that Errol Spence was much bigger and much stronger than him.
Exactly.
That's what he said. Now, Victor Conte, don't let me pull it up on my iPad. Victor Conte said in an interview 2 years before Crawford even went over there, he said, I got Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford because they asked him in his gym. He said, it's a 50-50 fight, but Errol Spence is much bigger than Crawford. That's what Victor Conte said. You see, we know what they went over there for. Let's stop acting like, because people say, well, Errol Spence got all these deficiencies. He's slow. his head stay on the line. He's flat-footed. He don't got no defense. His footwork is terrible. So what do you need to call him for to be the guy? What Bomac say? Bomac said straight up. He said, man, Errol Spence still fight like he an amateur. He's amateur fighter. Well, what y'all need Victor Conte for to be the guy like him?
And mind you, Crawford, it came out Crawford's mouth. He prepared for Spence for 5 years.
That's what they said. They said they was preparing for the man for
5 years, brother. 5.
So now when I bring up
in between times.
Right. So when I bring up that he went over there to fight Errol Spence since he was preparing for him for 5 years, Terrence Crawford fans come back and say, no, you're trying to conflate issues because he didn't go over there right before he fought Spence. But which one is it? Did he go over there did he go over there because he was planning to fight Spence and preparing for him for 5 years? Or he went over there to fight Sean Porter and David Evans? Which one is it?
But that's what people like us with logic comes in, though, because Crawford fans, they don't understand logic, bro. They don't take accountability, bro. And that's just the honest to God truth. That's my opinion.
Man, it's all good. Double salute. 2 Cents Boxing. She's a member of the channel, and she is also a supervisor of the Road to Tape film crew. And we got Lifeline Music TV. Double salute to him as well. Double salute to my guy, Aaron Muhammad is here. He's also a member of the channel and a supervisor of the Road to Tape film crew. And we got my guy, Toon. Double salute to him. Thank you for your contribution and your support to the channel, Toon. Toon says, Marty, you've been holding out on that wrench. You said you was wrenching me up 2 shows ago, just showing some support. Hey, Toon, I apologize to you, man. I did tell you that 2 shows ago. And you know what? I'm trying to do it now. When I seen the super chat, I'm trying to rectify that now since we're live. What it is I think the live has to go off in order for me to make you a moderator and give you a wrench. So I am telling you right now, man to man, I apologize. I've been trying to work on that. I apologize, brother, and thank you for holding me accountable to that. I appreciate you on that. And see, if other fighters would do what I just did, brother, everything would be all right. We got my guy, Sin Iron. Hold on, Sin. I got to let somebody else. Hold on, brother. Let me get this off the screen because I see the show is picking up. Hold on. All right, we got Terrell here. We got Terrell Howard. Terrell Howard, first time you've been on the platform. How you doing, sir?
Not bad. And yourself? Can you hear me all right?
Yes, sir. Can hear you very well, sir. Welcome.
All right. I've listened to you for a while. Sorry, I'm out in traffic right now driving. My bad. I couldn't help but call in. But I've been listening to y'all for a while, man. I've listened to your show plenty of times. I'm just trying to figure out what is the narrative y'all are trying to push here. Are y'all trying to say this man's a cheater or what?
Well, let me share something with you, and I'm glad that you're here today. I don't push not one narrative. We don't do that here. I don't push narratives. I don't do rumors. We don't do gossip here. This is an educational channel. I provide entertainment, of course, as you've seen me in other videos. But at the end of the day, but yeah, because I want to make it entertaining for the people. But yeah, I don't push propaganda. I don't push narratives. I'm unbiased. I stay right down the middle. And I call it spade a spade. All I'm saying is this, Terrell, and I think that's a very good question because I use everything that I do here as a teachable moment. The bottom line is that Terrence Crawford's performance, just like all the other snack fighters' performance, like I've been saying about them all, their performances have been enhanced when they compete. And we know that Terrence Crawford's
Wait. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
You did all that stopping me. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Right. You say his performance has been increased. The man has stopped his last 11 fights. That comes before snap.
Huh?
He stopped his last 11 fighters. He hasn't gone the distance in 11 fights. That comes before snap came out.
Let me ask you a question,
He was stopping
Terrell.
people before he was on snap.
Yeah, I agree with you, Terrell. But let me ask you a question. Since you said that, I think that's a really good question because maybe you can help us with the answer. Let me ask you this. So Terrell, he had 11 straight knockouts. I agree with you. What did he call Victor Conte for? What did he call him for?
Same reason Michael Jordan, after he got beat by the Detroit all them times, and he started working out. He wanted to be better than what he was. What type of person stays stagnant?
This is but Terrell, this is a boxing channel. This is not for basketball, so I don't understand.
I know. I'm saying the same thing. He's a professional athlete. He wants to be the best that he can be. If you can get another 1%, 2% out of the top tier athletes, that's a huge gain. It's hard to get those 1 or 2%. If he found another training regimen that could push him better, why would he not do it?
Well, Terrell, you ever heard that statement? If it's not broke, don't fix it.
If it's not broke, don't fix it means you're not trying to continue to get better. That means you're staying stagnant. Who stays stagnant?
Terrell, I just asked you a question. Have you ever heard of the statement? It's just yes or no.
Yes.
So you heard of it, and logically speaking, that makes sense, right?
Yes.
All right.
But
so
you can
now
also
we
say
got
that
to hold on, Terrell. So you agree with that statement, and you said it was logical and it makes sense. Those were your words. So now we can't start defying logic all because it's Terrence Crawford. We got to apply that same logic to him. So if it's not broke, if it's not broke, then don't fix it. Terrence Crawford, you said he had 11 straight knockouts or TKOs or whatnot. That means whatever regimen he was doing, it was already working. It wasn't broken, so it was no need to fix it. You see? So you're basically agreeing with me when you said that he wanted a 1% or 2% increase. You're basically agreeing with me, Terrell, that he wanted to enhance his performance. Correct?
He wanted to get better. Yeah.
No. I didn't ask you. I just see. But not.
You're shooting choice words. Enhance his performance. He wanted to get better.
Terrell, see what I do. I told you what I do. I said I go straight down the middle. And I asked, I right down the middle. You see that?
I know. And you're choosing your words very carefully, and word choices matter.
No.
Yes, word choices matter.
I agree. The words
matter.
Words matter, but I'm running down the middle. So I'm just asking you a question. So you're saying, I want to make sure I'm interpreting this correctly. So you're saying that he wanted a 1% or 2% increase in his abilities. You're saying that he wanted to enhance his performance. Correct?
I'm saying he wanted to get better. I'm not saying he wanted to enhance his performance. I'm saying he wanted to be a better fighter than what he was.
Like what? Show me one thing he could have been better at.
Anything. He could have better stamina.
Just give me one. Just give me one. I don't ask for much. Just one. Huh?
Better stamina.
What the? You better not say that when Victor Conte told you what EPO do, because you know that's suspicious if you say stamina, brother. His stamina look good to me. His stamina looked good to me in them 11 fights, to me.
Bud is what? Bud is historically a slow starter, right? And he finishes strong. Yeah. Now maybe he wants to be able to step up that performance at the beginning of them fights. This way he's not starting off so slow. This way he doesn't wait until the 4th round to pick it up. It's just simple stuff, man. Just as a viewer and listening to it, the way it sounds like is you're calling this man a cheater. You're saying he cheats. The only reason that he beat Spence is because he cheats. That's the narrative that's coming across. It might not be what you're trying to make come across, but as a viewer, I'm telling you, this is how we see it and this is how we hear it.
I know. And
this is how it comes across to us.
I got you, but there's a reason why. There's several reasons, but I'm going to give you one. The reason why y'all hear it that way, the viewers, is because y'all are trying to hold me accountable for words I don't say instead of holding me accountable for the words I do say. The words I have been saying is that Terrence Crawford's performance was enhanced. That's a word that I literally said, but I'm not being held accountable for that. I'm being more held accountable for the insinuations and this sounds like this and it seems like this. Hold me accountable to the words I say.
Again, like I said, word choices are vital. And when you use the word enhancement, that makes everybody think performance enhancing drugs, steroids, cheating.
Well,
so when you say enhance, that's what makes it come across that way.
Oh, I see what you're saying, Terrell. It makes it because I keep saying the word enhance. But Terrell, I got to put my glasses on for this one. So the reason why I keep saying that, Terrell, I'm not waking up out my sleep just making this word up out of nowhere. Terrell, I want to make sure. Did you park your car, brother?
Yeah, I'm stopped right now.
All right, I want you to just look at your screen for about 3 seconds. Just 3. 1, 2, 3. You see that? You see, Terrell, what I'm doing is repeating what's on the advertisement of snack. You see it in the last sentence? I'll read it to you, brother. It says, Victor Conte's Sports Nutrition Company Snack offers products that improve your level of fitness, help lose fat, build muscle, and enhance performance. You see, where Terrell goes go at? He left. You see, Sin, all I'm doing is repeating what the advertisement is saying, brother. What's your take on all this, Sin? I wasn't even trying to do a podcast tonight on this, but they brought it to me, Sin, and so now we're here, brother. Diggle Terrell, hold on, Sin, there you go. Hey, Terrell, did you see that on your screen, brother?
Yeah, sorry about that.
It's all right. Did you see where it said performance enhanced on your? Let me show you again so you can see what's
going on. Yeah, on the last sentence.
Yeah, did you see that? You see, Snack said performance enhancement, brother. Not me. I'm repeating what the advertisements say. Why am I being crucified for repeating what they say, brother?
Snack said enhanced performance, not performance enhancer.
No. Hey, boy, stop, man. You see, now you doing word.
It was crazy.
Bro. You doing word solid, man.
Again, that's what I'm talking about. The way you choose to place the words will change the meaning of what you're saying.
Terrence Crawford's performance was enhanced. I said that, and it says it right here on the screen. What's the crime? I'm repeating the advertisement. That's all. I'm repeating the words of Victor Conti when he was here for 2 different interviews in 5 hours. What's the problem? I know you're a Terrence Crawford fan, Terrell.
Yeah, I live in Lincoln, Nebraska. I'm like 40 minutes away from
Nebraska. Salute to Nebraska. How far is Lincoln from Omaha?
35 minutes.
Oh, you home. That's your hometown hero. I see what's going on. Okay, then. So
I wouldn't say hometown hero, but definitely put the state on the map, though. So that we happy about that.
Yes. And we applaud his accomplishments. All I'm saying is he called the guy that got the shady pass, and now people get mad like it's like, oh, why everybody suspicious? Victor Conti told everybody in the interview, Terrell, and I can pull it up right here on my iPad. He said,
I watched the interview with him.
He said, you should be suspicious of me. You heard him say that before?
Yeah, he said you should be suspicious of everybody.
No. I'm talking about when he specifically said himself.
Yeah.
So when people are suspicious of him, what is the problem? Is it because Bud Crawford went over there?
I wouldn't say it's because of him going over there. I'm saying they're suspicious of him because of his past, the Valco scandal.
Hey, Sin Ironheart, thank you for coming up. What's your take on all this, bro?
Man, this is comedy. This is comedy right here, man. Like, y'all Bud fans making boxing look real bad. So I just want to ask, I think the big thing that the big factor in all of this is I think reputation. Reputation is the one thing that will precede a man's presence. And I think that all of these fighters, as well as the people that they're associated with, have a reputation, and they have sound reputations. In fact, I think you, Terrell, and the last guy, both of y'all talked about how Crawford knocked out his last 11 guys and all of that stuff. Y'all use reputation around real heavy. So how come the reputation of Victor Conti, as a matter of fact, better question, let me, because you're a wordplay magician. So let me ask you, has Victor Conti ever had a reputation as a clean boxing advocate, or does he have a reputation at all as any form of being a legitimate nutritionist or anything of that sort? Does he have a clean reputation, or does he have a dirty reputation?
I'd say his reputation from the Valco thing was, it is what it is. Like all those baseball players.
I need a yes or no. Does he have a clean or dirty reputation?
Like we know what happened with them baseball players, so we all kind of already think that he's spotty as hell as it is. But as far as anything in boxing, since that Valco stuff, I haven't heard about that man getting in no kind of trouble about nothing. I haven't heard anything about that man. Like, I'm just saying, like, yeah, he had a bad reputation. Does that mean he's still a bad person, or does that mean he can never redeem himself? We live in America. We live in a place where you're supposed to get second chances. He's on his second chance. Has he messed up his second chance yet?
What second chances? Has he ever had a reputation for doing clean business? Can we not name at least 15 different athletes that he's done dirty business with?
I'm assuming
15.
before that bad business happened, he must have been reputable at some point to be able to even get to a point where he can talk to major league athletes. So he must have been reputable at some point. So then, but after all his good reputation comes up, he goes through that Valco scandal, gets caught up in some stuff. Probably helped a lot of those players, Barry Bonds and all those guys, hit fucking massive home runs and cheat. Then he got busted for it. Now he's reinvented himself. Now we're already ready to execute this man and say, hey, you're never going to be able to be a clean guy again without knowing anything. He's got to be able to, like, since being convicted of it, he's got to be, we're in America, he's got to be innocent until proven guilty.
All right, time out. All right, and let's not go into details. Let's not go too far into details. I'm going to ask one.
Give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. I got to hop off for a second, and I'll be right back because, yeah, what I'm about to do now, we definitely don't need on air.
All right, cool. Funny.
I didn't hear what he said. He said, what we're going to do now? I didn't hear the...
I don't know. Maybe he, I seen some smoke in the background, so maybe he just trying to get his mind right. But
let me get this. I want to hear what you were going to say anyway. Let me get these 2 super chats real. Hold up. How do I? Hold up. They trying to. Don't do me like that. There we go. Put the thing on. There we go. Double salute to my guy, Mr. Pragmatic. Thank you for your support, your contribution always to the channel, Mr. Pragmatic. He says, great show, Marty. Keep burning up the YouTube streets with great commentary. I certainly will, Mr. Prag. Thank you so much, man. Double salute to you. Double salute also to Gregory Quarterbaum. Thank you for your support and your contribution to the channel. Mr. Greg says, salute, Manager Marty. To my fellow Bud fans, Bud, in my opinion, went to the snack program to address his size, strength, and power issue as it compares to EJ. Going to Victor Conti, he will always be criticized. This argument is useless. And that's coming from a fellow Terrence Bud Crawford fan, Mr. Gregory Quarterbaum. Ironheart, you were going to ask questions or make some statements, even though he's not here. The audience, we would still like to hear what you were going to say, my brother. Speak on it.
All right. Now, I think that it's a known fact that all of these fighters and everybody that we're talking about all have sound reputations. It's very sound reputations. So we're not going to anybody, or we're not associating anybody with anything that hasn't been attached to their character and that hasn't been proven, without a doubt, as far as what they're capable of. And, they'll use Crawford's win record as far as his success at 147. They talk about his reputation for knocking out all of the, I wanted to say contenders, but they weren't. But all of his opponents at 147. And it seems that the reputation factors just seems to be prevalent until we talk about Victor Conti's past. And that just seems very advantageous to suit a disingenuous narrative towards the idea that Victor Conti has ever done clean business. I don't recall a single fighter or athlete. In fact, you just had Timothy Montgomery. I think that's his name. You just had him up here on the platform, who also verified that he had contacted Victor Conti based on his reputation. So everybody in this arena that we're covering has made a name for themselves. And I just want to know why all of a sudden the reputation doesn't matter as soon as we talk about Terrence Crawford's performance in that Spence fight, in which he did look entirely different. And we both know that Spence looked different. Anybody that's saying Errol Spence, who also has a reputation, anybody saying that Terrence Crawford fought the same Spence that apparently gave Mayweather hell, which Mayweather confirmed, and that he fought the same Spence that went and got those 3 belts while he babysat that 1 belt, you just being disingenuous at this point. Right now, we have a situation, just for a metaphor, where we got this Epstein flight log thing. Everybody on that list is being held accountable to Jeffrey Epstein's reputation. So there's no way around people's prior works preceding their presence. So it just seems like every time it comes down to Crawford's performance on July 29th, the real Bud fans, I don't even think that they're real Bud lovers. I think that they're more Spence haters, but they just want to turn their eyes to all of the facts and and crucify us for connecting the dots of everything that we seen that was obviously not necessarily right in that fight. That's all I got for now. You know what I'm saying? But I really wanted to get up here when one of these Bud fans were up here. So because man, it seemed like these guys get real touchy as soon as you back them into a corner with the facts. I can't hear you. Muted, Marty.
I totally agree with you. And that's the whole thing that, I'm just trying to point out is that we have to deal with what's real, the facts. We can't talk about opinions because I haven't really given my opinion about the whole subject matter yet. All I've been doing is presenting the facts. And the facts are that Terrence Crawford's performance was enhanced. He looked different when he fought Spence. Spence looked different when he fought Crawford. It is what it is. Well, what happens is people don't want to agree because if they agree and say that his performance was enhanced, they're in essence saying that there's a possibility if his performance wasn't enhanced with Victor Conte, that he probably would not have looked as spectacular and dominating against Errol Spence. That's just what I see. I mean, the bottom line is this. Double salute to Biz on the Beat, member of the channel, and he's also a supervisor of the Road to Tape film crew. This is not just about Terrence Crawford. All of the snack program fighters, they're under the same scrutiny. Exactly. Victor Conte told me, and he told me directly when he was here, when I asked him, why do the fighters go to him if they already have a winning record? Most of them are undefeated. Some of them have been world champions before they came to him. He told me and thousands of people that watched it, the interview and afterwards that watched it, he specifically said, apparently, and I'm paraphrasing because I can pull it up, apparently the fighters believe, given my history, that the reward is much greater than the risk and it's worth it all, even though they're going to be criticized hanging with me. Apparently they think that's a good enough reason to get the rewards from me. That's what he said. So what I'm saying is, if this is the case and all of those fighters went over to Victor Conte, you got to stand on what you do. All of this come with it. See, this is why you don't hear the fighters of Snack saying too much about it, because I guess they made peace with it. But the thing is, when you start pointing it out, it seems like their fan base haven't made peace with it. Because if they had made real peace with it, they wouldn't be on my platform, in the chat, in the comments section. They wouldn't be saying anything to me about it. Because the thing is, when you make peace on something, you stand on it. And I can tell that Terrence Crawford fans and Devin Haney fans have not made peace with it. Now, it seemed like they made peace with it when they went over there and they win their fights. But when somebody like me start asking them questions about it or backing them in the corner to basically ask them to use the same logic they would use against anything else, it's like, oh, it's a problem. You haven't made peace with it. If you made peace with it, you're going to stand on it and say, so what, he went over there. I'm cool with it. But I haven't heard Terrence Crawford fans say that. You know what I've heard them say? Well, Manager Marty, you insinuated. Manager Marty, you say this. Manager Marty, what you mean by this? Why do I have to go and give all of these different variables of why? It don't make a difference of why. If you're learning something about it, take the learning, grow with it, use logic, and you figure out for yourself. That's what I'm doing. Now, if somebody else want to say it's legal or illegal, that's on them. My position has stood ever since this happened. If Victor Conte can say that he looked at the last 3 fights of Pacquiao before he said that his performance was enhanced, now he said it illegally against Pacquiao. I didn't say it illegally against Crawford, but I used that same formula on his fighters. Why not? And here's the thing about it, as I have to point this out too. Victor Conte was here, live and living color, right here. And he was asked to a super chat. I can pull it up. He said, the super chat asked him, do you think that Memo Heredia is a dirty coach? And you know what Victor said? Yes, I still think he's a cheater. I still think he's a dirty coach. Now, Memo Heredia is on record saying he changed his life around. Memo Heredia is on record saying he works to advocate for USADA testing for his fighters. So my thing is, if Victor Conte can come out publicly with no evidence and call Manny Pacquiao a cheater with no evidence, say Memo Heredia is still cheating in boxing because of his history, then when somebody used his same formula and apply it to him, all of a sudden it's a problem. That's the issue of bias and double standard that I have, Ironheart. You see what I'm saying?
Right, exactly, man. I'm in total agreement, man. And it's just it's pure comedy because it's just like these guys come up here with all the fire in the world, acting as if they got a full line of defense for them. It just like my man Brooklyn had a meltdown. I don't know if you've seen his comments after the chat,
No, I
but
didn't
he
see
had a
it.
total. Oh boy, yeah, he had a total meltdown. And it's just funny because it's like I said, once they're presented with facts, they can't seem to defend themselves adequately. And it just seems to be a complete cutoff to to the realization of what we all seen. Everybody want to act like we're just trying to play some make believe game, or as though that we're all Errol Spence's family members, I guess. But I think that anybody, even an untrained eye, I actually had a friend call me and that never watched either fighter. And he was like, hey man, what was wrong with the other guy? Like, yo, your boy Spence looked like he was, like he was completely off. And then after he watched prior fights, just trying to keep up with the reputation because everybody wants to see why this fight was this big, why there was so much hype around this fight. It did not match up with what we've seen all the way leading up until July 29th. Pardon me, I don't want to tell you how to run your show, but it's saying my man somebody
Yeah, I see. Yeah,
yeah. He said I guess he's saying he want to come up here and defend Crawford's honor.
Who want to do that?
NHA.
Oh, NHA. Oh, well, I told NHA that he's suspended for 3 games. He know why he can't come on today. But tomorrow I'll let him back on. He served the suspension. He come back on tomorrow.
No doubt.
But
yeah.
See, the thing is, right? You know what they say? They say, man, Jamarty, you don't have any evidence that something is going wrong over there between Victor Conte or Terrence Crawford. And he's right. Or whoever say it, they're right. That's why you haven't heard me publicly say it. But you know what? Them same people, they don't have any evidence that Victor Conte changed.
My
None.
point.
Because
that's where I'm at.
The same exact things, and I pointed this out on a live a few weeks ago. He's doing some of the similar things that he did during the Baco days. For example, he was allowing the athletes that was working with him to promote his paraphernalia, his apparel. When I say paraphernalia, let me not use that word. That's just, people associate that with drugs. So how about his apparel? He was allowing all of those athletes to wear ZMA and snack shirts and hats and stuff, right? Well, he's doing that today. During the Baco, he was basically making those athletes undergo comprehensive blood testing. Well, he's doing that today. It's the same thing. He had a coach back then named Remy. Well, Remy had a misdemeanor that he had to deal with when he was supplying PEDs to athletes. Well, he's got Remy still working with him in the gym and on the track field to this day. So he's associating himself with the same people that work with him in Balco. When you talk about his products that he's selling online, ZMA Snack, well, he was selling those products back then, and he's still selling those products to this day. Well, he's using some of those same formulas. So what I'm saying is he's doing the same exact thing. So how can anyone say he has evidence that they have evidence that he changed? He's still doing the same thing around the same people, and he's around the same places. And not only that, but since he got out of prison, I believe in 2005, well, 2 fighters, boxers, they tested positive for banned substance while they was under his program. Andre Berto in 2012, I've already put this out there. In 2018, 3 years before Terrence Crawford went over there. 2 years before Sean Porter went over there to the snack program. Willie Monroe Jr. from Rochester, New York. He tested positive for a banned substance. And I asked Victor about that on this show. So it's not like, oh, Marlon Byrd, too, the baseball player. He also tested positive for a banned substance, baseball player, after Victor Conte gets out of jail. In fact, not only that, but don't forget, Alex Rodriguez went to go visit him when Bill Romanowski brought him to his office. You see, I asked him about this and pointed this out to him while he was here. So you see, when you got all these different things keep happening around this guy, when he said he changed his life around, you can't help but for people to be suspicious. That's all I'm saying, like Ironheart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, anybody walking through the swamp is going to come back with mud on their boots, plain and simple. It ain't no way around it, you know. And like I said, it just seems like people are mad that we're stating the obvious. Everybody wants us to keep a blind eye to all of the facts that surrounding the issue and just act like it's just a walk in the park. And if we do that, then the entire integrity of the sport is going to be compromised at that point. Right now, as a matter of fact, speaking of compromising integrity, Victor Conte is he's the one that's responsible for making the clear, right? That drug,
the clear and the cream, yes.
So the clear was solely created to compromise drug testing in competition sports.
That's correct.
That's right. So how can we possibly be wrong for acknowledging any of this adding up? 1 + 1 has been 2 everywhere else, everywhere else in the world. And I just know for a fact, if the shoe was on the other foot, if this was Errol Spence, these same people would have Spence federally indicted. People called him a weight bully for years, and he never missed weight for a fight at 147. So at least not to my knowledge, and so please, educate me if that was the case. But he's never missed weight. So people have had all of these accusations, but then when we clearly see a difference, when we clearly see that something is happening and something's off, we're not even talking about Spence's poor performance. We're not even talking about that because that does not line up also with his prior reputation. But as soon as we acknowledge what everybody has seen, everybody wants to act like this is the same guy that gave Mayweather hell. This is the same guy that gave Ugas the broken eye, Kell Brook the broken eye, all of the above. And those people that they're talking about, Terrence Crawford knocking out on the way to Spence, none of those guys could have made a negotiation with Spence that would have made his career or that would have advanced him in any level. If Spence went and fought Amir Khan, people would have laughed at him. People would say anything else, especially for where they were at the time in terms of building up the fight. Everybody that Crawford faced was not somebody that would line you up for a big headline pay-per-view fight. So I just don't get where the facts just don't matter all of a sudden. I don't know what type of aura that Crawford has to make all of his fans just delusional, but it just seems like the most disingenuous thing. And that we're dealing with in boxing, and it's at the highest level of boxing. Right. So it's pathetic, man.
My thing is this: if you're gonna come on the show, I don't mind nobody holding me accountable. If you're gonna come on the show and say, Manager Marty, you said this, you did this, you said this, all this about Snack, right? I'm cool with it. But here's the problem I'm going to have. You got to keep that same energy. When I come out with facts, you got to come up on the same show and say, Manager Marty, you were right. When you said that Terrence Crawford did not possibly test through VADA because he's not on VADA's website like all the other fighters are. That's not associated with PBC. And he's not. When he fought Sean Porter, we still can't find that he enrolled in VADA testing in November of 2021. When he fought David Evanesian, the following year, December of 2022, we still can't find him on VADA's website that he was tested through VADA. So why can't Terrence Crawford fans come up here and say, that was a fact. You're right. So what I'm saying is, if you're going to come and say, you're wrong, which they know I'm not, you guys keep that same energy when I'm right. Like, for example, I had Victor Conte here. And Victor Conte said, when I asked him and pressed him about Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford not getting tested, he said, maybe they wasn't. You didn't hear no Terrence Crawford fans say, hold on, Victor, you're an anti-doping advocate.
Mm-hmm.
You just gonna let that slide? This gonna make people more suspicious of Crawford. Man, you gotta speak up. Man, you gotta make sure that he's tested, and you gotta make sure that it's acknowledged publicly, like you do Devin Haney. When you post his paperwork on Twitter every time he enrolled, you gotta do that to Crawford. But Crawford fans ain't never hold him accountable. Didn't say nothing. You see, so
Yo, man, I wanted to let you cook, but you just said something that jogged my memory because you brought it up tonight that Victor Conte said, if you see these traits in a fighter for the EPO discussion, and you observe that the fact that he said this was damning evidence to really point the gun at him. I don't even know why he would say this because this just was not educated. But he said, if you look at the people that they're associated with, and put that with and compile that with their performance, then it's safe to say that these people are taking EPO or these people are taking this substance.
So if he can do that, how come another person who's a spectator of this boxing, how come when they say it or do it or see it, it's a crime? If people
And then, I'm sorry, but and then in the same breath or in the same conversation, he also said, after damning Manny Pacquiao to the accusations, of which I also agree with, he said that he had no reason to suspect Errol Spence of using PEDs. So he liberated the opponent while throwing his own fighter under the bus. How are we wrong for connecting these dots? Are we just all supposed to be dummies here? I want to ask you a question, Marty. Why do you feel, with you not being the largest YouTube platform or that covers this boxing, why do you feel that you got the attention of people like Victor Conte and people like Rick Glazer and these people having meltdowns in the midst of, why do you feel like these people came here to crucify themselves? Like, what was going on in their heads?
Well, I can't tell you what was going on in their heads, and I usually don't express my feelings, especially publicly, because you asked me how I feel. How do I feel about it? But I will tell you this. The truth of the matter is this. It's for the same reason why I'm getting criticized more than any other content creator. All the other content creators that know about what I'm saying, they may not know the in-depth, but as of right now today, they know the in-depth of everything because Victor Conte was here. Most content creators, they didn't want to touch this. They didn't want to touch on this topic. Mm-hmm. Whether they thought there was something fishy on the fight or not, whether they were suspicious or not, they did not want to touch on this topic. That's why it got so big when I started speaking on it. Some people didn't want to deal with the consequences of it. Me, I don't care. See, I don't want fame. They do. I ain't doing this for the money. They do. I'm grateful for the little couple of hours I get. But what I'm trying to say is that my heart is not in this so that I can be famous or so I can make money. My heart is to educate the boxing community. So my moral compass, it will never be compromised. That's number one. The second reason why, and the reason why I brought that up, because it's important, because if they did bring it up, whether it sounded like an accusation or not, they're not going to be penalized, Ironheart. Victor Conte and nobody else is going to send a lawyer to sue them, because you know why? They're going to say, well, they just content creators. They don't really know what's going on. They just giving an opinion. Oh, but they sure would target me because I'm a boxing manager. I know what's going on behind that curtain. I know what's going on behind this backdrop. I know what's going on. So they'll target me. They'll send an attorney to me. They'll send a cease and desist letter to make an example out of somebody who represents the business. And that's why they come up here. Because think about this. All these big, I just got here. I don't know if you know this, Ironheart, so you kind of new coming up here. But I just got here a year ago, man. On YouTube, I'm talking about. All these guys on YouTube and everything, and the ladies, they've been on here 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, man. And we just starting to get around to this topic now that I'm here, right? But the thing about it is that you would think that somebody like a Rick Glazer or like somebody like Victor Conte, these guys are well known, right? You would think they would run over their platform because you would say they have a larger audience than me.
Right.
But the reason why they come here is because my voice is louder than everybody else's. See, my subscription base might not be louder than theirs. Might not seem like my audience is louder, but this right here is louder. So they figure they can come over here and say what they say. I'm talking about Victor Conte, Rick Glazer, some guys that you mentioned. They figure because my voice is louder and other content creators, they listen to me too, right? If they can come over here and they can convince me that what they're doing is righteous and they change and everything is cool, then the audience will be able to believe it because my voice is loud and I can come and echo the sentiments that they're saying. But if they come over here and they can't convince me, I'ma stand 10 toes down on everything I've been saying. So remember, if you can get to Manager Marty's channel, who has a loud voice, and you can convince him and the audience, you good. See, the bigger channels ain't gonna speak on this because nobody spoke louder on this topic than me. So ain't no
Nobody.
point of going over there. You got to come
I've
over
been,
here. So that's
I've
the
been,
reason why I believe that they came here, because I have a very loud voice. And the other content creators, whether they agree with me or not, whether they like me or not, it's a guaranteed fact. They all have watched this channel and they still watching right now. And it's okay, because long as they learn the business, I'm okay with it. Even to the ones that don't like me, because I stand with integrity. But them other guys like Conti and all of them, they know what it is. That's why they was sent over here. So it's all good.
and I just
I
wanted
hope I
to just
answered your
add
question. I
to.
hope I answered your question.
Oh yeah, yeah. I just wanted to add to it that I think that for one, they would have been better off not acknowledging you at all because when they came to your platform, that gave you a level of validity that the other platforms don't have. They acknowledged the fact that you did sound research, but however, I think that people like and personally Conti's stance. I think that he thought that he was, I think it was like a trait of arrogance where he thought that he can get in front of this platform and kind of deceive the world, but he knew that it would be advantageous to confront. It's like, you want to jump in front of the bullet, essentially, when you see people gain a certain level of traction on a controversial issue. But it would have been much better for them to have avoided all of this because you put all of this stuff together very well on an investigative level. Like, I really think you were Cochran somewhere. Like you really put this mess together very well to the point where they come to your platform and the questions that you ask are so pinpoint, that where it's like, if you answer it, you're kind of making a fool of yourself if you're in a fraudulent position.
Yeah.
And I just think that that they did not really they respected what you were doing in terms of the level of investigation, but they still thought that they could come over here and pull the wool over the eyes of the world. And that was just, like I said, I think that it really backfired against them because anybody who's real about this whole situation could clearly see that you're not trying to defame anybody. You're very careful about the things you say. They're not even really accusations. There are some assumptions there, but there's a such thing as a safe assumption and just a foolish assumption. We could see that gray clouds in the sky and we could assume that it's going to rain and those clouds could be just gray, for the day. But nonetheless, it would be a safe assumption. Like we can't necessarily call you a liar for that, for putting that together. So that's my thing, man. I just feel like, that at the end of the day, it gave you that level of validity, man. And I appreciate everything that you're doing. I've been watching these other channels and following these other people long enough to know that they have been sidestepping some of these controversial topics, man. And I think you're on the money with it, man. This isn't even about your, I know that your broadcast had initially started for Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. So I don't want to hold up this topic, making this all about Crawford and Spence and all of that. But, I've been burning to get up here and talk to some of these guys, man. And I'm mad that you ran them off before I could have an interaction with them. But nonetheless, man, hey, I appreciate your work.
Appreciate
And yeah, man. I'm just gonna fall back and watch from here, man. Unless if you got anybody else coming up, well,
No, I don't. I'm going to end the segment right off of your words, but I want to share something with the audience because the viewership is right here, and I do have to go. But I want to say this to you. I want to get your take on Haney, Garcia, and we'll come back tomorrow and revisit this. But I want to get your take on that. But before you go, I want to hang on those words that you said. The thing about it is, and I have to agree, one thing that you did say, I don't know if Conti was pulling the wool over the people's eye. I don't know. But what I will say is that a lot of people from the very first beginning of me getting on YouTube, and I'm even talking about those detractors, some of those YouTubers or content creators that don't like me have underestimated me. What people don't realize, I'm gonna give the secret out because it's not a secret anymore. You referred to the questions, the pinpoint questions that I asked Conti, right? Well, the secret is I've been conducting research and been all immersed in this topic for 15 years. So I didn't just pull this out the hat talking about, oh, I want to use an excuse for Errol Spence. No, I've been in this boxing game for a long time. And I know when I see somebody's performance is enhanced, I know what I see. Now, whether it's legal or illegal, I'm not an expert with that. So I can't really speak on that. But when it comes to a person's performance being enhanced, and I look at the behavior patterns of fighters and I see body transformations, I know what I'm looking at. And they know that I'm in this business. And they know I know what I'm looking at. But I've been doing research on this topic for 15 years. So this is not something that I just woke up in the morning and just start trying to do investigation and pulling pieces together. No, I've been doing this. And whatever evidence that I poured it out already, it ain't even a half. We ain't nowhere near done. That's why when Victor Conti got off here the first time, I told the people, I said, it ain't over. It just started. It's not over because it raised more questions than the answers that we wanted to receive when he came over the first time. So all I'm saying is, this is what it is. Two Cents Boxing asked me a question in the chat. The answer is yes. I've been getting phone calls and emails about my content. Absolutely. No question about it. But the bottom line is, no, we don't make no excuses in boxing. I still got to make my commitment and stand on it. And my commitment is to teach and educate the boxing public and the community that support this channel. And I'm not just talking about PEDs or anti-doping. I'm talking about all levels of boxing when it comes to the sport and the business, the things that you all don't know. And is a lane that I created for it on YouTube, because before I got here, it wasn't one. And so I just want to provide education to the people and make some entertainment out of it. You know what I mean? So before I let you go, we're going to revisit the topic because, of course, the whole segment when Terrence Crawford fans came up, they kind of derailed it. But I let them do that because I'm using it as a teachable moment. And it's okay because I know people have more questions, and that's fine as well. So Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia, in the beginning of the broadcast, and I'll play it again tomorrow. Eddie Hearn was in an interview earlier today. And he said that he's meeting with Bill Haney today, and they're going to talk about the negotiations being started between them and that De La Hoya on behalf of Ryan Garcia to fight Ryan Garcia. So, quick question. Do you think that's a good fight for both guys, Ironheart, Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney?
1 second, brother. 1 second.
Okay.
Well,
let me.
Oh, no, we good. We good. All right.
We good? All right.
Yes, sir. All right. So you said Devin Haney, Ryan Garcia.
Do you think it's a good fight for either one of them? Or if not, why?
I think it's a damn good fight in terms of where they're at right now and stylistically. You know, like we were talking about on the last show that I was on with Devin Haney. I think Devin Haney definitely needs to win over some big fans to, you know, because I think it seems like Devin Haney's really looking to try to make a road towards a big Tank fight, and he doesn't want to take the pennies that or he doesn't want to take whatever Tank may offer in that fight. So if he beats Ryan Garcia definitively, then that would definitely put him in a much better, in a much more advantageous position to get a more competitive purse. I do think that it will help him showcase some ability. I do think Ryan Garcia has some awkwardness in terms of being very close and engaging. Ryan Garcia is almost like a Taekwondo type of fighter, like somebody that's very rangy. He likes to catch you, you know, from afar, and his speed is a little bit his speed is a little bit one-dimensional in terms of he doesn't mix up his tempo too much, so there are some weaknesses that could be exploited. But he has a very good fan base, and I think he's shown a willingness to improve, and that he's not scared of a challenge. So I think it makes for a very good fight between both of them. I can't say I could pick a definitive winner. And right now I'm kind of like on an anti-snack campaign. So like I would like to see Ryan win. I would like to see Ryan pull through, but I do see a couple more holes in Ryan's game than I see in Devin Haney's game.
Good point, man. And I appreciate you coming up, man. Come on back tomorrow. We're going to revisit the topic and talk some more boxing. And Ironheart, I appreciate the encouragement and, the words that you gave. Appreciate how you support the channel, man. So salute to you again. And hopefully we see you again tomorrow, my brother.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate it, man.
You got it. All right, let me read this last super chat of the evening. Double salute to my guy, member of the channel. Absolutely. My guy, Aaron Muhammad. Always a pleasure. Double salute to him for his contribution. Thank you, Muhammad. He says, Manager Marty, I repeat, some of these same Bud fans accused Errol Spence of using something illegal just based off of photos of his chest posted online. Now they have the nerve to complain. And Aaron H. Muhammad is correct, because I recall hearing a lot of Terrence Crawford fans talk about, look at Errol Spence's nipples. I don't know why grown men even brought that up, but they did, saying look at his nipples, and that's a sign that he's using performance enhancement drugs. I do recall that. Here we are. Come back live and live in color tomorrow. We're going to revisit the topic of Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. The fight is not officially on. No, it's not. They are in talks. They, meaning Eddie Hearn, on behalf of the Zone and Matchroom, and Devin Haney. And then, of course, they're going to be talking to Ryan Garcia, Oscar De La Hoya. Reason why I said April 20th, because Devin Haney himself, all he did was tweet. He just said April the 20th. We don't know what that means, but it's all about trying to promote this fight between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. And tomorrow, you know how we do, 4:45 p.m. Eastern time. Come on back here tomorrow. We're going to talk some boxing, and I'm going to pull out the same way I pulled in, with the hottest intro on YouTube. You already know how I do. Don't take my word for it. Roll the tape. Representing the business of boxing, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Manager Marty. Thank you. You're far too kind. Thank you.